Hey guys, what is up? It is Monday, which means Monday motivation night. Today was an off day for me. I'm off work today for Martin Luther King, but I would have been off work anyways because of the snow and everything. Well, I would have been working remotely. But anyway, so that means no makeup, no fancy hair or anything because I didn't have to go to the office today. So, welcome in, everybody. If you do not know who I am Pamela, aka Scooterrenee, and I am your host for Monday Night Motivation. My glasses look crooked. Sorry, squirrel. I'm your host for tonight's Monday Motivation, as I am for all Monday Motivations. Make sure you do all the YouTube things. You subscribe to my channels and then ring the bell for all notifications. That way you know when I go live or upload new content. And also, if you would give a thumbs up on your way in or your way out, I would greatly appreciate that as well. So welcome in, everybody. Good to see you. I'm really excited about tonight's topic. As I got to researching it, I was like, it was one of those aha moments because it so fits my life. So we will be discussing that tonight. Welcome again. If you are brand new, you've never been to Monday Motivation, welcome. I hope you will discover that this group is such a great group that it is a safe place, a place where you can be vulnerable and share anything that's going on with your life and everything. So welcome in. If you all my OGs, you know who you are. Welcome back. I love seeing y'all each and every week. And then of course the playback crew, welcome in. Just goes to show you can watch us even if you can't catch me live when I do the Monday Motivation. You can watch the playback. It's not near as much fun as when I go live, but it still gets the point across. So welcome. I know we got a few people in chat. We got 7 here all together. So welcome in. Come in and say hello. Let me know that you're here, that you're ready to hang out and get motivated for this week. I got my hot chocolate right here with me. Well, actually, it's coffee and hot chocolate. It's what I use when I don't want to put sugar in there. Get it from the chocolate, right? But it is super cold here in Arkansas. We have been stuck indoors all day today, all day yesterday. So we are just like, poor Robert is bored out of his mind. I think the dog's bored out of her mind. Like, we are just nuts right now. So it's just, yeah. Arkansas gets snow, we shut down the whole state. Like, there's no life when we get snow or ice or both. So, all right, let's see who all is here. We got Sue in here first. Welcome in, Sue. Good to see you. Love that kitty cat. So cute. We got Nancy Smith here. Welcome in, Nancy. Good to see you as well. Lisa D, how are you? Welcome in, my friend. Kathy Sweet. Welcome in, Kathy. So good to see you. And then my older sister, my sweet sister, all the above. Cool Ranch is in the house with me. Welcome in, Cool. Good to see you. I haven't started without you. You're in here with everybody else. I haven't even started talking about the topic, Tammy. You're good. Welcome in, Tammy. Good to see you. Seems so weird for the store not to be open. Like, it's like, what's going on? Like I said, we shut down in here in Arkansas. We do not function. Nobody knows how to drive normally. Nobody really knows how to drive when it snows and ice here. So, hey, Joanne, welcome in. Good to see you. She's a pill. I can only imagine, Sue. So, like I said, tonight's topic is on, I know you are, but what am I? I'm sure you all have heard that. At least either you saw the show, saw the movie, seen it on YouTube, little blips, whatever, people doing it in Facebook, so forth. But it's the Live from the Pee Wee Herman, I think maybe show, something like that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then lucky you. But that's what he says, I think, in his movie. He's like, I know you are, but what am I? I know you are, but what am I? But that is not what we are talking about tonight. It goes a little bit deeper than that. So, 2 feet snow. Wow. Yeah. We were supposed to got like a whole bunch of snow, but we ended up not getting as much. -1. We are like at 1, feeling like feeling like 1 or 0, something like that. I watched it earlier, but it's cold. It is so cold here. I don't like it. I'm like, if the good Lord meant for me to be in the cold, he would let me live up north. Somewhere in the cold. I don't like it. I don't like cold. I don't like hot. I like it just right. Goldilocks. Yes. Hey, Selena. Have you got snow out there yet? I know Memphis got it. I know Nashville got it, so I assume you got it. So 10 inches. Oh, wow. Gee, you're stuck there for a while, aren't you? Especially up there on the mountain. My boss headed to Memphis. I guess they went yesterday because they had pictures. But they bought tickets for his son's first NBA game. And his son like cried when he got the tickets for Christmas. So it was just like, oh no, what's going to happen? So they're there now. And I texted him earlier right before the game. I was like, have fun at the game. I'm assuming we're working from home tomorrow, right? He's like, yeah, remote. But he's definitely snowed in where he's at. So I don't like the no, thank you. So for the first few months, I'm going to be sharing my thoughts from the chapters in this book that I told you all about before. 40 inches in New York. No, we watched the Buffalo Bills game, and who did Buffalo Bills play? He's not listening. Whoever they played. Steelers, right? Anyways, we were watching that game. That was a pretty good game. There's no way I would play in Buffalo. Hey, Warcraft, welcome in. Good to see you. Yeah. Anything below 70 goes right through me, Lisa D. All right, so this is where we're going to be bringing these chapters from, these topics from. You are a badass, how to stop doubting your greatness and start living an awesome life. Because, that is me. I like it. But this is by Jan Sincero, and she is another book or so, one or two other books along the same line. The other one I have of hers which I don't know if we'll ever get to this one, but you're a badass at making money. So that's the other one that I've got on my thing over here to read. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Wing, welcome in. Snow days means natural days. Glad you got to work from home and not be in the weather. I didn't have to work today. I was off today regardless. So now tomorrow. Oh my gosh. So Tammy, I don't know. I can't remember if you have Uverse. We lost Uverse last night. Did not have Uverse. Had to pull out the iPad and watch. I think I watched a show off Paramount. Robert was watching something off of Netflix. So anyways. Yeah. It's like, what did we do before we had cable? So one of the chapters in the book is the title is the topic that we are discussing tonight. I'm super excited about sharing my thoughts from this book, and especially about tonight's topic, because it is so fitting with what I have been through and what I've been doing and what I've, have been going through the past 2 years. But first, we got to do this. All right, this one comes from the book itself for this chapter. It's a quote from Dolly Parton, and perhaps some of y'all have heard this. I've not heard of it, but I love it. It says, I'm not offended by all the dumb blonde jokes because I know I'm not dumb. I also know I'm not blonde. Anybody know that about Dolly? I didn't know that. But talk about a powerful quote, because Dolly knows who she is, right? To be successful as she has been, she's got, wow. So in this chapter, it talks about how people have motivated our every move in our lives from when we were teens and in our 20s. And hopefully some of that has been for the good. But I was like, that is so very true. I was so shaped and molded in my teens and 20s. And some of it was good, and then some of it wasn't necessarily bad, but maybe more of a narrow-minded thinking of how things should be, but really aren't, maybe. I was shaped and molded to be the good daughter. I was shaped and molded on my education. I was shaped and molded on my thinking of guys with long hair and tattoos, and even women with tattoos. But I mean, come on, it was the era of big hair bands when I was that age. And all the guys in those bands, for the most part, was freaking gorgeous. So, but I was taught that if you wanted a serious man and one that can hold a job, you must have a clean cut, shaven, no tattoo kind of man. So I forget about that Cool Ranch. I forget that you got them personally autographed. That's so cool. I know that was your daddy's favorite, or Dolly was y'all's favorite to go see in concert. So I started in the investment world, the business world, when I was 20, and now I'm almost 50. So that's 30 years. I've seen a lot of things come and go. I've seen a lot of things change and so forth, not only in the market, the investments and everything, but as well as, people and stuff like that. White collar and ties and suits. Now, I know, like my boss, rarely will you ever catch him with a tie. He might still wear his blazer with a button up shirt. But a lot of times, because he's so successful in doing what he does, it's like he's going to wear what he wants to wear. So he still dresses very nice, but now he's kind of earned the right not to have to dress up every day. Whereas like the rookies, they got to wear their dress pants and button up shirts and a jacket when they come into the office. So, but dresses and pants for the women. And if you wore a dress, even a sundress, and I can testify to this, even a sundress, you must wear pantyhose, apparently. And you got to remember, I was in my 20s back then, early 20s, and I got in trouble because I did not wear pantyhose with a sundress. That was one argument that my stepdad fought for me, and I've never seen someone so mad, because his statement was, you want to talk about someone not wearing pantyhose, but yet you're allowing a secretary to have an affair with a married financial rep? Really? Y'all want to go there, So, I learned a lot about cattiness in the office. I love working with just the men now. I'm the only woman in my office. And the ugliness, the simple ugliness that goes on with all that. And I know I was part of it. I know I was part of the ugly as well at times. But yet these women, family, and other people were shaping my thoughts and views on what was accepted and what I should be and shouldn't be. I was also a brand new mom at 19. And then 2 years later, Harley would come along. By the time I was 26, I was facing my first and only divorce, and good riddance to that. And I was facing being a single mom. So again, my thoughts were being shaped of what are people going to think of me? Teenage mom, even though I was turning 20 and I had finished my first year of college, what were people going to think about me? And then 5.5 years of a failing marriage. What would people think about that? Boy, she really started her life on the wrong foot, that kind of thing. And so I worried about what people thought of me instead of worrying about who I wanted to become. But I escaped. I escaped from an emotional abuse and sometimes almost physical abuse marriage. And so I was proud of myself to escape from that and want more for my girls. I just wanted more for them. I did not want to be stuck moving from apartment to apartment, trailer to trailer. That was not the life I wanted because my ex-husband couldn't hold a job. But then I met an incredible single dad of one daughter, and I just didn't realize how incredible he would be. But that man has been my husband for almost 23 years. But we got married and we started making this blended family thing work. And it was a rough few years. I'm not going to lie to you, starting out. But we both knew we didn't want divorce again. And I think we've done really well because we have worked hard, and I mean hard, to shape and mold this marriage to what we want it to be. During this time, I worked for my stepdad from 1995 to 2013, but I basically, during those 18 years, I lost my identity during that time, not even realizing it. Because again, I'm being shaped and molded into this woman that I think that other people want me to be. In 2011, my mom was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, as most of you know. And in 2012, I'm kind of giving you all a background to why this topic is so important to me. So hang in there with me. In 2012, my oldest daughter became a teen mom at 18 herself. But she graduated high school, she graduated with an associate's, and later she graduated with her bachelor's, killing the statistic rate. But at the time, it was, oh my gosh, what are people going to think about me about having a teenage daughter pregnant? Because she was one of the young seniors. She was 17 when she graduated high school, and then she turned 18 in August, and then she had Emma in September. So, but I got probably one of the best advice I got from my stepdad, though. He told me that my daughter getting pregnant was not a reflection of my parenting, even though I was so worried about what other people were going to think of me. That she had free will, just like I did when I got pregnant, and she knew what the risk was, just like I did. But I was so consumed and so worried about what people were going to think of me. And then 2012, 2013, 2012 was probably the best year that happened because Emma was born. But 2013 and most of 2012 was probably the absolute worst year of my life. Hey, Deborah, welcome in. Hey, Laura, welcome in as well. Good to see you. So, when everything came to head with my daughter's pregnancy and my stepdad's issues that I shared, I think on part of my testimonial to you guys. Hey, Echo, welcome in. Hey, Casey. Trying to make sure I keep it with chat as well, guys. But when everything came to head, where I find out about all my stepdad's stuff that he's got going on and my daughter's pregnancy, it all happened at once. And I remember driving and screaming. Robert and I had got into it, and I just left. I got in my car, and I just took off. And I remember with my sunroof pulled back, all my windows down, and I just screamed at God because I was so angry. I did not ask for all this to be brought on to me. And now not only do I got to worry about what do people think about me as a mom or as a person, but now what is everybody going to think about me as Jim Wilson's daughter, as his assistant at work? You know, what are people going to think about me? Am I going to be the dirty secret? You know, because that's how I feel like I was dismissed from Morgan Stanley, was this dirty secret. So I lost my job in August of 2013, and I literally had the rug slipped out from under me due to my stepdad's actions. And at that point, I literally lost my identity. I didn't know who I was. I looked at myself in the mirror, and I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I stood for anymore. I didn't know what I wanted to be. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I literally did not know who I was. And everyone seemed to know what they were, that were all around me. Everybody knew their life was still going. They knew what they wanted to do in life. They knew where they were going in life and who they were and everything. But I kept going, but who am I? Who am I? Okay, make sure I'm not missing anything. I didn't know if I wanted to work with another investment firm, with another rep, because I loved my working relationship that I had with my stepdad for 18 years. I loved it. And I didn't know if I wanted to share that with anyone else at the time. So I dabbled a year in real estate, and I learned quickly that nope, that wasn't for me. Because you see, back in high school, before I lost my identity, before I lost who I really was, who I thought I was, and who I wanted to be, back in high school, with all of this shaping and molding going on, I wanted to be something big. And that's all I knew. So I wanted to be something big. I wanted the money, and I wanted a big job with a big title. I wanted to take this DeWitt little country girl, Pam, which I hate being called Pam. That's why I always prefer Pamela now. But anyways, I wanted to take her to be this greater and bigger, do bigger things. And then my life changed, and I knew I had to become a responsible. And when I say my life changed, is when I had my first daughter. I knew I had to become this responsible adult. I had to become a mom to my first daughter. And then Matt, my boss now, he had worked at Morgan Stanley, which is how him and I had met. We both went to the same church together as well. And we were friends on Facebook, but he had left Morgan Stanley in 2011. And in 2015, he put out that him and his partners were looking for an assistant. And at the time, I was a store lead at Bath & Body Works, and I was absolutely 1,000,000% miserable at that job. I hated every aspect of working at Bath & Body Works. So I took a chance, and of course, 9 years later, here I am. And again, just to give y'all more, a little bit of background. In 2016, I believe, is about the time my sister-in-law, Robert's sister, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. I continued on with my relationship with my stepdad, as many of you know, and I struggled with who I was still. I was just going through the motions, taking care of my mom, who we had to put in a nursing home with her Alzheimer's because she was a flight risk. I also took care of my stepdad, and when I say I took care of him, I took care of his every freaking need. Every need he had. His laundry, running him food. And when I say this, like I'm literally at work and he's texting me wanting a burger, almost every single freaking day. And then just going and sitting with him because he was so lonely and all this kind of stuff, which I understood that to one extent, but the other extent, I'm like, you're at a semi-assistant living place, and it's supposed to allow you to make friendships and everything. But not only that, I moved him twice. I moved him from the condo to his apartment, and then from his apartment to the semi-assistant living. And then 2021 came, and I was so fed up with how he was regressing, how he didn't care anything about himself whatsoever, and I was the one that was caring, and I just couldn't do it anymore. I could not care more than he did any longer. I just couldn't do it. And so I'm really, really shortening the story, guys. End of 2021, that December, my brother was diagnosed with colon cancer, which then spread. And then, as you all know, 2022 was hell for me, losing both my mom and dad 2 weeks apart from each other in March. And then dad was totally unexpected, but mom, I knew the day would come. She fought Alzheimer's for exactly 10 years to that day. Robert's sister passed in August of 22 as well. I'm not sure if a lot of y'all know all that had happened in 2022. But I really started searching for myself and starting at the end of 2021 because of what all I've been through with my stepdad. And then I struggle, understandably, in 2022. And then 2023, I lose my brother. So in a year's time, my original family unit was wiped out. But during 2022, I had to work on who I am. Who am I? And I was with a therapist for the remainder of 2021 and most of 2022, and she helped me so much. She said I had suffered from PTSD with my stepdad, and so we started this grueling cognitive behavioral therapy because, again, I had believed all these false beliefs back of growing up and everything. So I had to start taking those beliefs that I believed, all those false beliefs, and that I've had all my life up to 2021, and finding out that they were false beliefs. Like, she would challenge me. I would say, well, everybody's going to think that I'm a loser. I don't know if that was what I said, but let's just use that. And she would say, oh, really? So tell me, who are all these people that think you're going to be a loser? And so she would challenge my thoughts, my false thoughts, false beliefs that I had about myself during all that time. And again, I'm leaving a lot out because we only have so much time here, right? But I think I can safely say that we have probably all gone through this at some time or another in our lives. I know, or I feel I know who everyone else is who seem to have their lives together, but I have no clue. I've totally said that wrong, guys. I'm referring to my notes. But I think I can safely say we have probably gone through this, I know, or I feel I know. But, I always think everybody has their lives together. Everybody looks like they have their lives together. Everybody looks like they know what they want to be, what they want to do, or where they're going in life. But I was still no clue about who I am. So if anybody has ever felt that way, put me in the chat. Let me know that you're with me, that you're listening, that you're taking in what I'm saying. But if you felt that way, like you lost your identity, you didn't have a clue who you were, put me in the chat. So in this book, there's a line that says, do not waste your precious time giving one single crap about what anybody else thinks of you. Thank you, Cool Ranch. Hey, Michelle, welcome in. Good to see you. I don't know why it took me so long to learn that line or to learn that part, that why am I giving a single crap about what somebody thinks about me? Why is it so important to me that what somebody thinks of me? And so in the book, it talks about there are 3 questions that you should ask yourself when making decisions about your life. Wish I would have had this sooner. 1, is this something I want to be, do, or have? 2, is this going to take me in the direction that I want to go? That I want to go. Not should go, but I want to go. And 3, is this going to screw over anybody else in the process? And when I say screw over somebody in the process, I'm meaning that you're going to do them wrong, you're going to take money, you're going to do something wrong with the money, you're going to treat them wrong, you're using them for your own good, screwing somebody over. Is it going to screw anybody over in that process? Well, when you're making a decision about your life. For me, I have to think about Robert. Okay, do I want to take a risk and just do this full time? Well, I got to think about Robert. I got to think about our, it's just the 2 of us, but we still have life needs that we, utilities and things like that we still have to take care of. It's not just about me. And so, yes, I would be screwing him over if I did that. So, nobody ever accomplishes anything big from their comfort zone. And we talked a lot about comfort zone last year. But the people that get out of their comfort zone, they face ridicule from those who think they're crazy or for thinking that they can even do something. And they can face failure as well. But they're out of their comfort zone. It is part of our instinct to care, obviously, right? Like, I do care about what y'all think about me. I care about, how am I having the right attitude for you guys? There's all kinds of thoughts that go through my head because I do care about what people think of me. But don't get me wrong on that. Most of us are forced out of the nest to fly on our own when we leave our parents' home. But while out flying around and leaving the comfort of that first nest or family, what if we find another nest that was more of our style? Maybe it wasn't what your parents did or your brother and sister or whoever in that group did, but maybe you found a nest that was more of your style. Then we could end up loving what we do and the people that we're surrounded by. And we forget about those people whose approval we sowed, and this is me. This is so freaking me right here. We forget about these people. I will never forget about my stepdad, obviously. But whose approval we so desperately needed that we thought we would be failures for not having their approval. so freaking me right there, guys. That is me to the very core. I felt like I always had to have my stepdad's approval. And I felt like I could never get there. I would almost get there and then he raised the level. And I almost get there and he raised the level, constantly. And on one hand, that's an awesome thing. That's a great thing because you never stop growing. You never stop striving for things. But at the point, you just get exhausted. But I wanted his approval. Remember, you are responsible for what you say and what you do. You are not responsible for whether or not people freak out about it. It's how they handle it. Not your responsibility on how they think or how they handle it, Like my stepdad freaking out on me, yelling at me. How dare you? He didn't even know that I was pregnant when I came home from college, and he told me I made him sick. Do you know that has affected me all these years? Being scared and young and pregnant, that I went and got married without my parents knowing and all that kind of stuff because I felt like such a failure. But because I was so much seeking the approval of him. But again, that's why my phrase this year for me is so important. It's so freaking important. Take me as I am. Take me as I am. You either like me or you don't. You're either my friend or you're not. I'm not doing this lukewarm business with anybody anymore. You're either all in or you're not. So, and it's no biggie. It's not a big deal. If you are, you are. If you're not, you're not. It's no big deal. Because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind, right? Those who mind don't matter, and those who matter won't mind. So in the book, it gives an example of two people. How two people can go to the movies and they can see the exact same movie. And one walks out, they're so moved by the movie, they've been crying, they've been so emotional throughout the whole movie. And one can walk out just demanding their money back because they thought that movie was the most lousy movie they ever seen. And it's funny because that just happened kind of similar recently with Roflo and I when we saw Iron Claw. I was the one that was moved and thought the movie was so good. It hit home with everything. Like you could tell that those boys felt like they were never going to fully measure up to what their father expected of them because the father just wanted them to bring home the title belt. And unfortunately, that family was supposedly cursed that all the men, were passing away. But anyways, I was just so moved by the movie. Robert thought it was okay. Nothing like he thought it would be. So he was very disappointed in the movie. But you see, it's not about the movie. It's not about the movie at all. It's the person that goes to the movie. It's about the movie goer and how we think and feel and everything. What other people think about you has nothing to do with you, but it has everything to do with them. Let that sink in. What other people think about you has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with them. How many of us think that Karen is so mad at me? And yes, I'm using the famous name Karen. She's so mad at me and at us. And she probably don't even like what we did or how we handle something. And we just worry ourselves over something so trivial, so silly. Over a Karen. That's me. I've been that person. I thought Matt was mad at me. He might not have been mad at me at all. But because I felt this vibe or whatever in my head, I worked it all up in my head and conjured it up and everything. And that was nothing that was going on at all. But it really had nothing to do with me. And so it actually, when we do that to ourselves, it has really nothing to do with them. And unfortunately, we might be I know Roflo and I, we can have lousy days at work. I mean, pretty lousy days at work. Or mine could be traffic. Mine could simply be just traffic coming home. And unfortunately, we might be grouchy and complaining about everything. Robert could say one wrong thing and I'm just slamming stuff, I'm just mad. And I know when he gets that way, I know for me, I have to remind myself that it's not about me. It's not me that he's mad at. He's mad at whatever happened at work. He's mad at whatever person that made him mad. It has nothing to do with me. But I can make it so personal. I can take it so much personal, But again, it has nothing to do with me. And I just got to give Roflo time to cool off. And then vice versa. He's just got to give me time to kind of cool off and simmer down and everything. Exactly, Lisa, it does, definitely. But in the book, it talks about how the trick isn't how we don't let criticism have power over us, but it's also to not get caught up in the praise. That would be me, like this whole chapter is about me. You see, there's nothing wrong with accepting a compliment or a praise, but it's when we start using those things to seek outside approval that tells us that we're not good enough or talented enough or worthy enough. This is what I think happened to me. I was constantly seeking the praise that I always would get from my stepdad, but it was never enough because I didn't feel like I was good enough or worthy enough for that matter. I handed over this power to my stepdad. Mostly him. And there probably were many others that I handed that power over to. And I became so dependent on him and some others for my own validation. Like, what? Like, how messed up is that? How messed up can that get? That I handed over so much power to him and many others, all the guys I dated, my ex-husband, everybody else for validation of who I was. And in the book it says, you and chasing something that you have no control over. And should that thing change, regardless, if they found me not interesting enough or whatever, my job and the dependent relationship with my stepdad is what I think about, which is how I feel like everything ended with my stepdad. I didn't feel like he found me interesting enough anymore. That you end up with a full-blown identity crisis. Hello? So me. So freaking me. Oh, he don't like me anymore? Oh, he's not coming home anymore? Oh, he hasn't been coming to the office? What, who am I? I can't function without the other person. The codependency is exactly what it was. Even with my ex-husband, I was so codependent that I was the good one, I was the great one, and all that kind of thing. And I so hate. Hold on, let me go back. Hey, Aisha, welcome in. Good to see you. I hate myself, totally hate myself, but I'm trying to learn to live myself. It's so hard, Selena. It is so freaking hard. Well, how about if you keep doing something that makes someone feel a way towards you? And we have a part in that. Should we take account? Oh, I agree with that too. No. And I think, I don't know if I put it in here, but it's in my thoughts. I know a lot of that had to do with me. I chose to be that person, to be dependent. But I think we also get sucked into it. But I hate admitting all that. I hate that I got so caught up in the approval of other people, in the approval of my stepdad more than anything and everyone else. But I did. And the result of it was I lost my identity for a while. And all that matters is what's true for myself. And if I can stay connected to that without straying, then I'll be my own superhero. And of course, again, I'm not saying that's all one person's fault or whatever, but I know if I could only just take you back to that point in my life to where I literally did not know who I was. I was so wrapped up in being the good daughter and thinking that I have to accept everything. I have to accept the narcissism. I have to accept the yelling, the cussing, everything from him, my ex-husband, anybody else, because I knew that they loved me still. But I wanted their approval so bad, even though I knew I was, like my therapist would tell me, you're a good daughter. You done prove that you're a good daughter. Why do you still feel like you owe? And maybe that's what I'm saying is you get in that you get in that stuck point. You get stuck thinking that you owe them, especially when somebody does something so good for you. Like my stepdad bailed me out a bunch of bills and things like that. He helped pay for my divorce. Those kind of things. That is like, oh, I owe him. I owe him that I didn't have to go work at fast food restaurants or jump from job to job when I got pregnant. There was just so much, and when you can get so blindsided by that and thinking, oh, well, he's doing so much for me, so I should do so much for him. And so when I broke off that relationship with him, I just felt like a bad daughter. And so that's why I had to go through therapy with him. When I failed at my first marriage, I felt like a bad wife, a bad woman, because I failed. So how can we truly not care about what other people think and how to take our power back and be ourselves? And there are 5 things in the book that suggest this, or that the book suggests, that I thought were right on point. 1, ask yourself why. Why are you about to say or do something? Is it to be accepted or liked or validated? Is it about payback to someone who did you wrong? Or is it coming from a place of truth, of strength? And maybe it's just something you want to do for fun as well. And for people like me, it's because I feel called to do it and maybe change someone else's life in a positive, martyr-free, I don't know if I say that word right, martyr-free, there we go, way. You want to pay attention to your motivation and be honest about why it is you're wanting to say or do something. Why am I feeling this way? Why am I feeling like I need to say this to that person? Why do I feel like I need to do this? Practice comes from a place of integrity. And if you do that, you're going to win. Selena. It's what happened when I was a child and young woman. I felt not worthy and I deserved all the bad things that has happened to me. I've learned to stop letting the devil win. Amen. Right? Joanne, my mom was the one who always made me feel I should care about what other people thought of me, the way I dressed, what I said. So I always sought her approval. I was afraid of disappointing her. Exactly, Joanne. I was always afraid of disappointing my parents. I was always afraid of disappointing other people and who they thought I was and who they thought I should be and everything. And so, number 2, always do your best. When we feel insecure, we can fall fast to the outside input. When we are feeling so insecure about ourselves and feeling insecure and knowing you half-ass something or you don't really believe in what you're doing, that can bring on a lot. But again, doing the best being the best, doing your best, always doing your best can come from integrity, because then you can be proud of yourself and not give a darn about what anyone else thinks, because you know you did your best. 3, trust your intuition. How about us moms out there, right? We always have that gut intuition about our kids. But animals use their instincts for a lot of things. You got certain animals that they use their instincts so they don't fall to become prey for another animal. And all of these animals have different instincts that they mention in the book, but we as humans will take the advice from a person with no goals or dreams, the negative Nancy, if you will, and instead of doing what we know deep down is best, we'll listen to them. How many of us have thought, I should have listened to my gut, I should have just listened to my gut, I should have known better? We have this incredible inner guidance tool that we can use whenever we need it. It's our gut intuition, the intuition of our gut. And all that outside noise of people, tell them to go away. And then get yourself to a quiet place. And give yourself space to feel and think. And then we had all the answers we need inside of us. We have all those answers inside of us. So sharpen your intuition by practicing. Take the time to strengthen your connection to your higher being. And trust that you know what's best for you. Get yourself centered, because once you do, you're going to do mighty things. So shut down all that noise. Get quiet. And think about what it is that you're wanting to do or say or whatever, and trust your intuition that you know what is right. Lisa, I can tell you real quick. 2 was just always do your best. Always do your best. Know that what you're doing, you did it as good as you could. And then be proud of yourself and not care about what other people think, because you knew you did your best. Right, Michelle? It's just like, I knew that was going on, and I'm a real bad person about out of sight, out of mind. Like, it's bad with objects. If I just put it in a closet, it's out of sight, out of mind. I forget that I even have it. But then if I can do that with, with my intuition too. I just don't think about it or whatever. So, number 4 is find a temporary role model. Find a mentor and be clear on why this person is impressive and inspiring to you. So my stepdad was a mentor to me, for sure. But I think I was looking at him for the wrong reasons. That codependent reason. But when you find this person and you find yourself in a challenging situation that leaves you guessing about who you are, what you should do, ask yourself, what would my mentor do? Not caring about what others think about you is a muscle that can take time to build up. So use that trick and have a mentor while you're getting strong, just like you would have a trainer while you're learning to build those muscles in your arms and your legs, your whole body, tone your body and everything. You have a trainer that helps you so you don't get hurt, right? Same thing here. You have a mentor, you have a life coach, whatever. So while you're getting strong, you got someone that you can kind of lean on. And then before you know it, you'll be able to start asking yourself, what should you do? What would you do? What would I do? Have to add that when you get to that quiet place. Pray to God for guidance. Use your gut, but we all have the best compass and healer. Amen. And that's what I say about higher being. I understand that not everybody out there believes in God. I believe in God. I know I'm a Christian, but I always want to make sure that I am making this clear to other people that, might believe in Buddha or whatever. Just have something that you can get quiet with. I don't know if that makes sense. And then number 5 is just love yourself. No matter what anyone else thinks, just love yourself, Selena. Me too. Now, it is important to note throughout all this, what I've shared with you guys, it is important to note about outside opinion. This doesn't mean you should miss out on the opportunity to benefit from outside input altogether. Does not mean that whatsoever. And especially from those who know you well. Many times I'll look to Roflo, obviously, because he knows me. He probably knows me better than anyone else. He probably knows me better than I know my own self. And I know he's going to be honest and he's going to tell me exactly what I need to hear, even if I don't want to hear it. Kind of like he was with my stepdad. I don't know what I would have done without him during all that time. But his opinion, Robert's opinion, is really the only one that truly matters to me if I'm honest with everybody. His opinion about what I think, what I do in life and stuff, his is the only one that really matters. And yes, we need a friend and mentor in this life on earth. Aw, thank you, cool. Hey, 710, welcome in. Hey, baby girl. Number 4 is hitting you hard. Yes. Right? It's so hard to find that one person that you can trust with everything. Or finding someone that you feel like you can just be yourself that will also help guide you, that it's there for the right reasons and not there to hurt you or bring harm to you and everything. Now, there is a difference between constructive criticism and constructive complimenting. But it depends on how you take it, if it's constructive on either one for you. So people have said you react so quickly with one little thing said that you just blow up about it, that they can't open up to you because of how you might react, what you might say. Then you might want to say to yourself, is this true? Do I really have a short fuse? If they say one wrong thing to me, do I really blow up? Is this how I react? And can you use that information to better yourself? And if it's a yes, then make the necessary changes. And if it's a no, then let it go, Elsa. Just let it go. Now, here's me. Here's the compliment one. For the compliment, if people are always telling you that you're such a good listener, you're so loyal, you're so dependable, you could ask yourself if that's true. Am I loyal? Am I a good listener? Am I dependable? Does this information help me to be a better me? And if it does, capitalize on it. And if not, let it go. So you got to realize that even compliments can be constructive. So, is it something that helps you or doesn't help you? If it doesn't help you, let it go. If it does help you, then do whatever you need to do to change it. Yes, self-reflection, very important. Lies and truth can bring so damn. Yes. Michelle, you saying that? Yes. I'm one of those I'll just use this as an example. My stepdad was scratching his head. He was scratching his arms at the office. And I knew in the back of my head, my intuition, my gut said, he's on drugs and he's going through withdrawals. But I've always been the one, if I don't speak it, and Harley will tell you, if I don't speak it, then it's not the truth. It didn't come out, so it's not the truth. Out of sight, out of mind. And all alone, he's lying to me about where he's going. And Mom's calling me, wanting to know if I've seen him. Because we work together. Duh. And then I find out the truth of what all has been going on, what has happened. Yes, so much damage and so much hurt and so much of that, even though it was 2012 and 2013, it still affects me to this day. Still affects me. Exactly, Michelle. When you try to do what's best. Yes. I was so worried back then about protecting his image more than I was worried about protecting mine. I still wanted him to be this upstanding, outstanding gentleman that give you the shirt off his back, donated money to whatever cause he felt was needed, help people and everything. I was so worried about his that I just took all the focus off of me and what it was doing to me. Totally took it off. And that's why I feel like that's where I lost my identity. I lost who I was. I was so concerned about helping him. Back when my first marriage, I was so concerned about him knowing that he was loved and that I didn't think he was damaged goods like his parents thought he was, and that I thought he could be a man. And granted, they were right and I was wrong, but hey, what else did he do? So again, you want to capitalize on any of the compliments that is helpful to you. I've had several people tell me that I'm a good listener, more than I can count. So I try and make sure that I do listen to people, that I do take what they say and I listen because it matters to me. But I do also know that it matters to me, but there's a line to where it cannot. I'm so empathetic with people. I'm too empathetic. In fact, my personality test I took shows I'm very empathetic, too empathetic, that if something happens to you, I almost take it on as if it was me. And that's where I have to watch myself. What you're going through is not my problem. It's not my personal problem, even though it affects me, like with my kids. Like another friend I'm thinking of right now, what our children decide to do, that's their lives, and they have to answer for whatever they decide to do. It's not us. We're there to love them. We're there to still support them and everything, but we can't get so caught up in it that it affects our living. Ha ha ha! You're so sweet. Yeah, like my therapist is like, you cannot watch Lifetime. I know I've shared that story with y'all before, but she was like, you cannot watch Lifetime because if a man is beating up on his wife, if something happens, you're going to take that and you're going to get mad. And that's so very true because I watched a news thing, and I'm not going to go into the topic because I don't like to talk. Everybody knows I do not like to talk about politics. I do not like to talk about religion on my channel because I know everybody has their own opinion and people can get so wrapped up in arguing their opinion to try to prove their point. I just don't want that. But anyways, there was the thing I was watching on YouTube yesterday, matter of fact. And I was just so livid by what had happened. And I was telling Robert, and of course that led me and Robert into a discussion, but I was just like, I could just feel that. I was so angry with what had happened to this person. And that's where I have to remember I got to draw that line. It's not my life. It didn't affect me personally, Hey, Janet, welcome in. Good to see you. Sometimes others can see, going back to what people think about us, it can be a good thing. Just like I do care about what Robert thinks about me. I care about what my kids think about me. But sometimes others can see things in us that we can't see for ourselves. That was my first marriage. I could not see the things that he was doing until after the fact. I could not see the things that my stepdad was doing narcissistically until after the fact. Until I got outside of that. And then, of course, I'm looking at people going, why didn't you tell me that this was going on? Why didn't you tell me that you saw this was happening? Because I would say things to my ex-husband. I would say, well, I want to do that one day. Because, again, I'm still a dreamer, even during that time. And even though he was tearing me down to the very core of me, there were still things I wanted to do. And he would say, oh, you're never going to do it. But I never heard that. I never heard him say, oh, you're never going to do it, until my best friend pointed out to me. He's like, she said, did you not hear him when he would say that you're never going to achieve that? You're never going to be that. You're never going to do that. No, I didn't. And I'm like, why didn't you tell me then that was going on? And she was like, well, you wouldn't have listened. And probably very true. I would not have listened because I was so narrow-minded, focused on what I wanted, what I thought my marriage was, and it really wasn't. What I thought my relationship with my stepdad was, but it really wasn't. And I cry, and they look at me like, why are you crying? Right? Yes. Do you do that with the Kleenex commercial? That's why I want to know, Lisa D. You know, I can't watch any of the dog movies. Makes me cry. Tammy Mullinex, welcome in. I missed you, girl. I was just going through my list on my Excel spreadsheet today, and I came across your name, and I was like, I wonder how she's doing. I got to reach out to her. Rose-colored glasses. Thank you. See, you learn. You teach your mama things. Yes, rose-colored glasses. Exactly. 1,000%. Yes. I just want to believe the best in everybody, and I'm not as bad about giving them chance after chance because I'm one of those fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. Fool me 3 times, we're done. There's no more. And of course, Harley takes after me on this whole empatheticness and forgiving and all that kind of stuff. There's times I'm just like, Harley, you done forgive them 4,000 times. Why are you getting... But again, I have to step back and go, it's not my life. It is not me. It is her. It is all about her, not about me, you know. Right? Yes. Harley's definitely my tender-hearted child. She is wearing my heart on my sleeve child. Makes you think about Hammy. I know. When Robert was surprising me with my dog, I called the lady. And I was like, hey, I was calling about your Maltese. I was wanting to see if he was still available. And she's like, no, he's not available. And Harley and I were just coming from Robert's dad. So this had to be like latter part of 2006, early part of 2007. And so I was like, oh, okay, well, thank you. And I hang up and I just start bawling because I wanted this Maltese. I've always wanted a Maltese and everything. And she told me that he'd been sold. Next thing I know, I look over and Harley is just bawling her eyes out. And I'm like, what are you crying for? You know, it's like, it's already bad enough I'm crying. Why are you crying? And she's like, I wanted you to get the dog. So Harley is so me. She's my mini-me for sure. And then come find out Robert bought the dog the whole dang time and told the lady to lie to me. He was like, now she's going to call you and ask you if the dog is still available. And I need you to tell her no, it's not available. And it was all the most wonderful experience and most wonderful memories I'll ever have in my life. But at the time, it was so unfair, you know. But anyways, little did I know my husband bought the dog for me. Let's see. Trying to figure out where I left off here. But yeah, sometimes people can see things in us that we can't see. But if we discover that it is the truth and it can help us, then it's worth taking the time to listen to that person. You know, hey, Scooter, you know, you really should think twice about doing this before you jump in. And here's why. And if it's the truth, then I need to listen to why they think that that's the truth. I used the third time, no more. Right? Yeah. It's like we get to fool me 3 times, we got a problem. And you're gonna know it. So again, though it's all up to you and what it comes down to be the truth for you. That's what it all is about. It's all up to you and what you think, what you know is to be the truth for you. And the more connected you feel to your inner truth, the more you will be able to use other opinions, what other people think about you, to your advantage, rather than letting it rule your life. So thank you guys for being here. Anything else that y'all would like to discuss, whether it pertains to tonight's topic or something else. But wow, what an ending of that is. What other opinions that you can use other people's opinions of you to your advantage, but not let it rule your life. And I think that's where we get caught up in it, is that we, or at least for me, I got so worked up into what did my stepdad think of me? What did my mom think of me? What did anybody think of me? That I was listening to that and I was letting it rule my life. Okay, y'all, you think this about me, so I got to change this so I don't disappoint you. I hate disappointing people, you know. Like tonight, I really thought about canceling tonight because I've been home all day and all I want to do is sleep all day because it snowed outside. There's nothing else to do. And I'm like, nope, I said I was going to show up and I'm showing up. Second chance if you blow that is especially if it's the same thing, right? But still going to love them from a distance. Yes. That's like I tell people now with my stepdad, I will do my absolute everything in my power that I can do to take care of him from an arm's length distance. Make sure he's in the best place to take care of him with his dementia and his, what's the other thing he's got? The shaking. Come on, y'all know what this is. Where they shake. Cannot even think of it. Well, what the other? I will find him the best facility, which is what I did, for them to take care of him. And I will make sure that his bills get paid, that his nursing home gets paid, that I do everything I can to get Medicare. Like I will jump through the hoops with the attorneys and all that kind of Parkinson. Thank you guys. I will do everything I need to do in my power to still take care of him, but it's at an arm's length distance. I cannot mentally be there. Because I also know that even though he's not full-on dementia yet, that if I go there, and my sister-in-law can confirm this, if I go there, he's going to give me crap. Why have you been here? I hate this place. Get me out of here. And then just put the biggest guilt trip on me. And I can't do it. Hey, Crafty, welcome in. Thank you so much. My brain just went blank. It's like, what is that word? Right, Michelle? Yes. Like, I love him. I love him more than anything in this world. But the man that I love is the man that's no longer. I feel like the man that he was is gone. He's just a shell of that man now. Right? Yes. Yep. All right. Anything else, guys? We've been on for about a little over an hour. So thank you guys for being here. I always appreciate y'all being here. So I don't know if any of y'all have gone through anything similar with me and losing that identity. But for a while there, I felt very lost. And then losing my parents, as y'all know, the hair colors started changing. I got my other tattoo and everything. And I was just like, you know what? Screw everybody else. I'm going to do what makes me happy now. I'm going to start being who I am. And so that's why this year's phrase of the year and word of the year is so important to me. You know, being resilient, and you just take me as I am. Take me for who I am. You either like me or you don't. Oh, good. Right, correct. It's so not easy. I became the POA of my mom and also the healthcare POA. So I took care of all that when all that was going on with her. And now I'm right back in the smack middle of it again with my stepdad, even though his is a totally different circumstance. He was smart enough to get everything on my mom's name. So when I had to put her in the nursing home, I didn't have to deal with Medicare because nothing was in her name. Whereas with him, I had to jump through the hoops and spend that money to get his income trust done and for them to file the Medicare for me and stuff because he makes too much money. So I know it'll all work out, but I mean, it is so not easy. It's emotionally draining. It's mentally draining. It's exhausting. And try and make sure that you have everything covered, that you're not doing anything that's going to harm them even more by, them being denied Medicare or Medicaid. That they're not going to get denied that. It's like, hey, I got to make sure I move the money from this account to this account, and I got to make sure I write this check for this amount, So I have paper trail of everything that I do, and it's just like, oh, thank you, Lisa D. Oh, thank you, baby girl. Yes, you do, you beautiful. Ah, Jedit. Jedit, I really think in your picture, you are the most beautiful. Like your eyes, they're so pretty. All right, guys. Thank you again. Tomorrow night and Wednesday night, I will be on with RoFlow, 8 p.m. Central on my channel. And then Thursday night, I will either be on with Cool Ranch on her channel, or she might talk me into being on my channel. So we will be one of the other places at 8 p.m. Central. And then Saturday night, I'm taking it easy this week. Last week, I will not have had a break from YouTube until Friday this week. So Saturday night, Elisa will be back with me as well. And then next Monday Motivation, a week from today, that topic is going to be, what are you doing here? So I can only imagine with tonight's topic what that's going to mean. What are we doing here? So it's another chapter in the book that I told you guys about, and I look forward to researching and diving into that one with you guys, letting you know what I found out, what I think about it, and everything. So it is daunting to have to take care of that. It really shouldn't be that difficult, right? Like, and especially when you're like, I'm not doing anything here to take the money. I don't want the money. I don't want anything. I just want them taken care of. That's it. That's it. Nothing else. Nothing here for my advantage, All right, guys. Y'all have a great rest of your week. Be careful out there. Stay warm out there. I'll see y'all around YouTube at some point this week. Probably every day, maybe. But remember to get to know yourself and become a better you. And let's do this thing. Good night, guys.